everybody, and welcome back to the 9 Frames podcast. This is episode 41. It is Wednesday, October 25th, 2023. I am Bill Whalen.
And I'm Mike Whalen.
Be sure to catch us on YouTube at 9 Frames Podcast. Our Spotify is 9 Frames, and our X is at 9 Frames Pod. The championship series are behind us, and we got a World Series to set up now.
Yeah, some crazy finishes as well. Definitely not how we saw it going in March.
No, very different, but that's baseball for you, and we're going to get right into what was an explosive end to both championship series and set you up for the World Series ahead this weekend.
Real exciting stuff. We're going to kick this one off in the American League with the Game 7 of the ALCS in Houston between the Texas Rangers and Houston Astros, with no home team winning a game at this point in the series yet.
Absolutely insane. Kind of the story of these teams' seasons. They're not great home teams. I thought Texas was better fitted at home, but they did not play well at home either. But it can't be any better than the first time the two Texas franchises match up in the playoffs. We got a 7-game series on our hands with a chance to go to the World Series.
Yeah, we both thought that it would be a deep series because of how evenly matched and well-known to each other each of these teams is. I think the Rangers losing 3 at home had more to do with matchup. Mm-hmm. The Astros losing at home, they've been doing all year. They just haven't been a good home team this year for some strange reason, and it's continued into the postseason. They lost a home game against Minnesota.
Yeah, not what you want to do, too. People always talk about how important it is to defend home field and use that home field advantage in the playoffs, and there really hasn't been any for Houston.
Yeah, so Game 7 would be a rematch of the starters as it was for Game 3, which was Max Scherzer and Christian Javier.
Great matchup.
The Rangers would get to Javier early in this one, who looked really good in Game 3. He only gave up 2 earned runs over 5 2/3. So you couldn't complain about that start. But this one would not be as fortunate for him. As I just said, he would give up 3 earned runs in the first inning, starting with the Seager home run, which was his third of the postseason. He loves just hitting in the postseason in general. I mean, he's had a slow ALCS, but it's nice to see him step up in a Game 7 where his team, who paid him so much money and relies on him so heavily, he stepped up, and
really
it was nice to see.
Taking the reins as a leader there in Texas for sure.
And then they would go small ball as Garcia and Mitch Garver both have RBI singles to go up 3-0.
Yeah, this is exactly how you want to start a Game 7, really how you want to start any game, but Game 7, you're feeling great.
Houston would respond in the bottom of the first inning for just a single run. Nice to cut it a little bit after giving up 3 in the first. But that was a Jose Abreu single, and I wanted to also mention that Christian Javier would only go a third of an inning in giving up those 3 runs.
Right.
As you'd imagine in Game 7, quick hooks for anybody who's struggling, because there is no game after this if you lose.
Yeah, Jose Abreu gets an RBI single here to make it 3-1 Texas. Jose Abreu really wanted to go to a World Series here.
Yeah, we were talking about it, how even though Houston has been there so regularly, Abreu coming over from the White Sox really isn't used to deep playoff. Well, he's not used to it at all. Deep
individually accomplished player, but never really had team success. This was his chance for that, and it was a great run.
He definitely carried his own in this postseason for the Astros, hitting behind Yordan Alvarez a majority of the time. He was great protection for him. All year. I mean, he had 90 RBI. He just had a great year.
Mm-hmm.
Garcia, who's been an absolute menace toward the Houston Astros in this series, hits an absolute bomb off of Hunter Brown in the top of the third inning for his 6th home run of the postseason, and it's 4-1. Just right again. It's a 3-run ball game.
Yeah, you can't go a game without this guy getting at least 1 extra base hit. He usually gets 2.
Bregman would respond with a solo shot of his own the next half inning, which was his 4th, another guy that loves hitting in the postseason.
Definitely.
To make it 4-2 again, cutting it back to a two-run deficit.
Yeah, we got a real battle. It feels like Texas is just a step ahead of Houston at this point in the game.
The problem would be in the next half inning as Texas would have an explosive fourth inning where they put up 4 runs. Starting with an Evan Carter 2-run double. That was his 6th double of the postseason. 6 doubles for a 21-year-old kid in the postseason is pretty crazy.
Very impressive.
So that puts Texas up 6-2, followed by another Adolis Garcia single, this time for two runs instead of the one, 8-2.
Yeah, like we had said, up until this point, this was a back-and-forth game, and Houston was just a step behind. Not anymore, man. Texas put the pedal to the metal here.
Texas seemed to finally break through that all right-handed relieving bullpen of the Astros as they get 4 off of France. They get a run off of Brown. And then later they would get 2 off of Brian Abreu again. He gives up more runs. He finishes the postseason with a 4.32 ERA, man.
Yeah, I think a lot of what happened there at the end is he's getting in his head. The regular season was nothing like this with all of the beef and all of the drama. He was just going out there and pitching, and I think that's what he needs to do.
The Rangers would give Max Scherzer a relatively short leash as well, as he kind of struggled. He gives up 2 earned and 2 2/3. Jordan Montgomery would take over for him, though. He actually picks up the W in this game. He goes 2 1/3, giving up only 3 hits and no walks. So just 3 base runners and 2 1/3 out of the pen for a guy that they've really had as their ace throughout the entire postseason so far.
Only got 1 out less than Scherzer did in the game, so it's crazy to think that Montgomery was ready to make another start, basically.
Yeah, and he did a great job, and he picks up probably a tired bullpen. I mean, they've been working a lot recently.
Yeah, you would think, and that's why they used him in this place.
Fast forward to the top of the 6th, Nathaniel Lowe hits a 2-run home run, his 3rd of the postseason, to make it 10-2 Texas in Houston.
Yeah.
The crowd is quiet. A lot of people have left at this point.
I was going to say, at this point, you could really see a lot of the green chairs because all of the orange is leaving the crowd.
Yeah, it wasn't really how the Astros wanted this game to go at all, and no home team is going to win a game in this series for the second time. Garcia would add another monster home run in the 8th inning, his 7th of the postseason, after a Yordan Alvarez single the half inning prior. That makes it 11-3, and then finally the last scoring of this series and the Astros season would be, how poetic, a Jose Altuve solo shot in the bottom of the 9th inning, his 4th of the postseason, I believe his 27th of his postseason career, so now he just sits 2 behind Manny Ramirez for the most all time, but it definitely would not be enough tonight. As the final score would be 11-4 in favor of the Texas Rangers, who win the series 4-3.
Yeah, before this season or the series started, we had a 4-3 Texas win. That's what ended up happening. What an insane series for Adolis Garcia. He is the ALCS MVP, and deservedly so, man. What a stud.
Yeah, he sets the postseason record for most RBI in a single series with 15 RBI in 7 American League Championship games.
That is wild, man. Just an insane series to go on. He was on a mission, and he sends Texas Rangers to the World Series for the first time since 2011.
Yeah, they picked the wrong guy to poke, especially, he had 5 RBI in Game 7. He beat Houston by himself, 5-4.
This was a disappointing end for Houston's season, for sure. They wanted the game to be at least more competitive. It felt like it was over in the middle innings.
It's on them, though, because they just really didn't play well at home at all.
Nope.
All year.
And that keeps going here, and they go home. We will see the Houston Astros next year.
Yeah, so for the second time in postseason history, no home team wins a game, the other being the 2019 World Series, which also featured the Houston Astros.
Pretty wild. It's a trend that the Astros need to get under
and they
control.
lost.
I'm not sure why the Astros have those problems, why they're just not good at home.
So this is 2 times in this insane Astros run where they've needed to win 1 postseason game in, this time the ALCS and last time the World Series, to win it. And they just couldn't.
No, very disappointing end to what was a great season and postseason run for the Astros. And congratulations to Bruce Bochy, Adolis Garcia, and all of the Texas Rangers.
Yeah, the Texas Rangers are headed back to the World Series for the first time since 2011 when they lost to the Cardinals in 7 games. And these fans have waited a long time. They've seen a lot of bad baseball. We were talking about it. They lost 100-plus games just 2 years ago.
Yep, that is very true, and now there they go to the World Series.
Bruce Bochy comes in, and now he takes his 3rd team, third different team to the World Series. He took the Padres there. We know he took the Giants there many times. And now the Texas Rangers will follow suit and join great ball clubs managed by a great manager in Bruce Bochy, who is
Certainly
one of the all-time. Oh yeah, he's one of the all-time greats. And he has a chance to win another championship.
Congratulations to him and the Rangers. We will see you Friday. I couldn't be more excited for it.
Mr. Bochy going for number 4, and the Texas Rangers. This one would be larger than any other, I'd say, because this would be their first in franchise history.
Oh, yeah. Arlington's got to be fired up, the whole Dallas area. I mean, their team is on fire, and there's no reason they can't take the trophy here.
What way to add to a legendary legacy that Bruce Bochy already has with that dynasty he created in San Francisco. Now he can win a team their first ever.
As well as an American League.
Yeah, I mean, he switched leagues.
He normally came from the National League with the Giants and his former team before that, but now he is over in the American League, and right away, instant success.
And finally, on the Houston Astros, we saw that Dusty Baker said that he is most likely going to be retiring after this series now that it's over. Just shout out to another fantastic managerial career from Dusty Baker.
Yeah, definitely one of the all-time great managers, and he will be another Hall of Famer undoubtedly.
The lone blemish is that he never got to win a Game 7, and on the other side, Bochy has never lost a Game 7.
Impressive for sure.
So we'll look forward to seeing who the Rangers play in the Fall Classic starting Friday, but they are the first to punch their ticket.
And no matter what, we'll be hosting Game 1. We take you back to Monday evening for Game 6 of the NLCS. The Phillies heading home and just need to win one of 2 home games to send themselves to the second straight World Series.
Yeah, much like the Houston Astros, they need to win 1 out of the last 2 games in front of a rowdy home crowd.
And much like the Rangers, the Snakes got to win 2 straight in Philadelphia to go to the World Series.
Yeah, we'll see how the NLCS works out in comparison to the American League Championship Series.
Game 6 was a Game 2 rematch between Merrill Kelly and Aaron Nola, which is just a fun rematch to watch. It has been every time they've matched up. This game starts with a quiet first from both teams, but the second kicked off the offense as back-to-back solos by Tommy Pham and Lourdes Gurriel Jr. make it 2-0. The speedy Alec Thomas walks, and then Longoria doubles him in for a 3-0 Snakes lead in the second.
Yeah, this is what you have to do when you're on the road. You gotta start quick and you gotta start early. Especially against a lineup like the Phillies, who could put up so many runs so quickly.
Yeah, really the story of the championship series, both of them, as well as the postseason as a whole, has been early and often runs. If you can get that early burst of runs, you're probably going to take the game.
Yeah, I mean, especially for the D-backs who've just had a lockdown bullpen since the postseason began. Like, they don't give up many runs out of that bullpen. It's been really impressive to see.
Yeah, Philadelphia responds quickly with a Real Muto double and a Brandon Marsh RBI single combining to cut it to 3-1 Arizona. Philadelphia had a lot of chances in this one, but they were kept very, very quiet. The next score in this game wasn't until a Ketel Marte triple to right field kicked off the wall super funny for Castellanos, and that makes it 4-1 Arizona.
You got to give a lot of credit to Merrill Kelly. He pitched fantastically in this game for a team that really needed him to.
Yeah, 5 innings and only gives up 1 run, while on the other side, that triple by Gurriel ends Nola's day with 4 1/3 innings pitched and 4 runs given up.
And a weird game for Nola, who comes into this game with a sub-1 ERA and gives up 4 runs.
6 hits and 2 walks in that one. It wasn't awful, but it wasn't great.
Yeah, I mean, he's pitched his ass off in the first 3 or 4 starts that he's had, so 4 and 5 innings almost is not terrible, but the Phillies were definitely hoping for more.
Yeah, and I mean, bringing you on to later on in this game, the Philadelphia pitching was really irrelevant here. The next scoring in this game is another Ketel Marte RBI, this time a single in the 7th inning to make it 5-1 Arizona. Philadelphia did nothing in all of those innings. That's your final score. Philadelphia musters only 1 run on 6 hits and 3 walks all day.
Yeah.
Gotta wake up.
You give up 3 in the second, you score 1, you look like you have a little bit of life, and that's it. You don't score another run for the next, 7 frames?
Yeah, Arizona, specifically their bullpen pitching, really bullied the Phillies in this game, as they have done throughout the entire postseason to everyone they've faced. And now we got another Game 7 coming Tuesday night.
Yeah, Lovello has been pushing a lot of the correct buttons. I know he's received some criticism for what he did with Fott, pulling him a little early. But so far, I mean, a lot of his moves have turned out to be quite successful.
Yeah, I mean, even when he pulled Fott, it didn't hurt the team specifically, so it's not too much of a slight on him. Super impressive how this group and the manager and honestly all of the coaching has been able to handle it.
Yeah, I mean, Lovello he's been one of the better under-the-radar coaches, and much like Brandon Hyde in Baltimore, he's seen his team lose 100 games, and now he's got a chance to do something really great and go to the World Series. As you said, there's going to be a Game 7 on Tuesday night now.
Not something a lot of coaches get to do, and now they have their chance. Philadelphia for Game 7 will turn to Ranger Suarez as Arizona looks to their rookie, Brandon Pfaadt.
Yeah, the rematch of Game 3, much like the rematch of Game 3 for the ALCS Game 7. It's the same deal.
And like we said, the story of the championship series continues here. Arizona puts on pressure in the first inning, and they have runners at the corners. Christian Walkers hits a tough broken bat slow roller to Alec Boehm. He gets 1 out at second, but Corbin Carroll with that speed scores from third. 1-0 Arizona after 1 inning.
That's what you got to do, man. We keep saying it. If they could take a little bit of life out of this crowd so that they're not so rowdy and distracting.
It's been really great watching specifically Corbin Carroll and the rest of the team. Really, they downsized their game a bit to play a bit of small ball and just work gritty runs on the board.
Yeah, they're a team that knows not to just swing for the fences all the time, because it's not really how they're built.
Definitely.
They're a very fast ball club between Carroll, Marte's pretty quick. Thomas is really Alec Thomas is really fast.
Right,
so they got good speed.
No, they produce runs, and that's what they have to do to win.
But they can hit home runs.
Definitely.
They've got some thump in those bats.
Yeah, they got pop for sure, as we've seen throughout the postseason. And Philadelphia here, they do respond with an Alec Boehm solo shot, his first of the postseason, kind of surprising.
Yeah, it was a nice answer, though, and it got the crowd back into it.
Yeah, that ties it 1-1 in the second inning, and taking you over to the fourth, because there was no offense until then. A Bryson Stott RBI double scored again, Alec Boehm, in the fourth inning. It is now 2-1 Philadelphia, as
this was the spot that I would be worried if I was the D-backs.
Yeah, of course. Taking a 2-1 lead in the fourth inning, not where you want to be. Ranger Suarez has really settled in at this point in the game, too, and the bats have gone quiet after the first inning where they got only 1.
Because now everybody's loud. They're back into it. The Phillies have a lead. The Phillies bullpen is very good as well as the D-backs. I thought once that Bryson Stott single scored the second run, I thought it would be pretty tough for the D-backs too.
To this point, Arizona hadn't scored a run in the game that wasn't on an out. It was a ground out that scored their only run. But we take it over to the fifth inning, and
next half inning.
Arizona has what else but a great small ball fifth. They get a Emmanuel Rivera leadoff single, a Geraldo Perdomo sac bunt, which was really very old school to watch.
Playing for the tie.
And a Corbin Carroll RBI single will tie the game at 2. Very impressive small ball inning. Again, gritty runs.
The bunt single pays off because now Carroll can score from second. He's probably not scoring from first.
Speaking of Carroll and speaking of gritty, Philadelphia will look to Jeff Hoffman, and Corbin Carroll quickly swipes second base. Gabby Marino scores him with a single, and Arizona goes up 3-2, man.
Yep, just like that. They where we thought that it would be a little bit of a rough situation after just giving up the lead. In the next half inning, they respond with a pair to take the lead right back, and that's just what good teams do, and they've shown throughout this entire postseason run that they are definitely a good team.
Yeah, a tag team of offense here in the fifth inning, and a 3-2 lead in the middle innings of the game. That's where you want to be, man. They fought back hard.
They've completely changed the narrative behind their team of oh, they're the 6th seed in the NL. What are they even doing here? They're going to lose to the Brewers. They're going to lose to the Dodgers. They're going to lose to the Phillies. And here we are. They got a 3-2 lead in the top of the 5th inning. Now they need, 12 outs?
Yeah, I mean,
15 outs?
We are both guilty of picking against them every round as well. At least I did. I believe you did as well, right?
I think I did. Yeah, I picked the Brewers. I definitely picked the Dodgers, and I picked the Phillies. So,
yeah, same. I mean, this team, they have ways of proving everybody wrong, and they just keep doing that. The phenomenal Arizona bullpen comes in after those 4 innings pitched and 2 runs by Fought, which was solid.
Yeah, I mean, you'll take it from a rookie in a Game 7, dude. He went up and down 3 times this year throughout the season. For him to step up like he did in Game 3 and now pitch as well as he did in Game 7, very impressive start to his career.
Yeah, unfortunately, the end of the story for Philadelphia is that Arizona's bullpen combines for 5 shutout innings pitched after the nice start by Fought. Arizona scores another one on a Corbin Carroll sac fly in the 7th inning, so his fingerprints are all over it, and they go up 4-2 here.
Yeah, if you look at it, man, the Phillies had 6 hits in that Game 6 with only 1 run. They've got 2 runs on 5 hits in this one. The offense just kind of went cold.
Yeah, the wheels were turning, but they were stuck.
Just the worst possible time for it to happen.
And the tag team of Kevin Ginkel and Paul Sewald shut it down. Ginkel was really impressive, man. He came in the 7th inning with 2 on and 1 out. He got 2 flyouts, and then he K'd the side in the 8th for 1 2/3 shutout innings.
It's really impressive for a guy that is typically an 8th inning guy to go out there and give them 5 outs to bridge to their closer that they traded for, and he's just been everything they've hoped for, Paul Sewald.
Really took the air out of the building, striking out the side in the 8th, too, leaving them with just 3 outs.
How could it not, man? He goes out there after doing an up-down, which he normally doesn't do, and he just kind of destroyed them.
Yep, Sewald, too, comes out, and he stays great. He gets 3 flyouts in a row, first to Corbin Carroll, then to Gurriel, then to Corbin Carroll, and the rookie catches the last out and sends Arizona to the World Series, the first time since 2001, and the second time in their 26-year franchise career. Congratulations to the D-backs.
Unbelievable that the Diamondbacks are in the World Series. I don't know if there's a single person on the planet that said the Rangers would be squaring off with the D-backs, with the Rangers having home field in the World Series, man. I'm excited, though.
It's an insane scenario, and it's really nice to see because somebody, a franchise that really deserves it, is going to get it, and that's awesome to see.
Yep, the Rangers will either get their first or the D-backs will get their second and first in 22 years, so it's been quite a while, man.
Paul Sewald closing out this game gets his 6th save of the postseason and hasn't given up a run yet.
He's been a very, very good acquisition.
What an acquisition, for sure.
Proving that he is an elite closer, which is honestly something that he wasn't for the beginning portion of his career. He was kind of a middle innings kind of guy.
Yeah.
Then he started to shift to the back innings, and now he's just, he's dominant.
It's all a puzzle, and clearly he fits in the 7, 8, and 9. I think specifically the 9, and clearly the D-backs, too. Keep rolling with him. He's the hot arm. Philadelphia only gets 5 hits in this game. They just can't get going. It's a disappointing end to a great run. You can only tip the cap to him.
Yeah, I think the statistic was between Schwarber, Turner, Harper, and Castellanos. They were a combined 1 for 28 in games 6 and 7, with the 1 hit being from Kyle Schwarber, who hit under 200 on the season. So if you're relying on hits from Kyle Schwarber only, and Turner, Harper, and Castellanos give you zeros in the two biggest games of your season, I think it's fair to see why you lost.
Yeah, Trey Turner going 0 for 11 with runners on base. That's not in scoring position. That's on base. If anybody's on base, he wasn't touching the bags.
That's not good.
Not good at all.
For a guy that was scorching hot coming into the series, too.
Bad time for the Philadelphia Bats to go cold, and it does send them home. We will see them for the 2024 season in the spring.
And we're down to 2.
Ketel Marte is your NLCS MVP. Absolutely deserves it. All of these breakdowns that we've had of these games, man, you're saying his name 4 or 5 times a breakdown. It's wild.
Yeah, I think the only person that had a shot outside of Marte might have been like a Gabby Moreno.
Yeah, maybe
a Carroll.
Yeah, very true. Yeah, but I think Ketel Marte is the clear choice here. I would give it to him as well. And he sends Lovello and Arizona to Texas for Game 1 Friday. Let's go, baby.
Yeah, it's I'm going to keep saying it. I can't believe this is the matchup we got. It's going to be a real fun one. Both of these teams are very hungry. I'd assume the matchup is going to be for Game 1. They're going to stick with Montgomery, you'd assume.
You would think they would stick with Montgomery.
Maybe they go Nate.
And they go Montgomery in Game 2 because he pitched in Game 7. I wouldn't be surprised with either of them, not going to lie. I would probably stick with Montgomery and just go with what's worked.
Yeah, and then I would say from the D-back side that you'll see Gallen.
Yeah, I think that's a clear choice. So probably Gallen versus Montgomery, maybe Gallen versus Eovaldi. I don't think they would pivot to Scherzer for Game 1. There's not a reason right now.
No, I don't
hasn't
see
worked out. Maybe if he had pitched well up until this point, but he hasn't. But we will be getting Arizona visiting the Texas Rangers in Globe Life Field, for Game 1 Friday.
Yeah, and
Should be electric.
We'll set it up on the Friday episode and give our full predictions because I got to look at it and think about it a little bit more to give my prediction for the final series of the year.
For sure, a couple of days off from baseball. Everybody get a breather because it's going to be a really electric at least 4 games.
Yeah.
I think we're getting more.
Yeah, I think we're probably going to get more, too. I don't think either of these teams is going to get swept with how they proved that they could just play through gritty, close games. So we'll see.
Should be a fun watch.
Yep, I'm very excited.
Thank you to everybody for watching and listening, wherever you do, supporting however you do. That was episode 41 of the 9 Frames podcast. It is Wednesday, October 25th, 2023. I've been Bill Whalen.
And I've been Mike Whalen.
You can catch us on YouTube at 9 Frames Podcast. Our Spotify is 9 Frames, and our X is at 9 Frames Pod. That was your recap of the NLCS and ALCS, and we will set you up for what should be a really fun World Series between 2 underdog clubs that we both like a lot on Friday.
Yeah, absolutely. Please be sure to like and subscribe. We obviously appreciate the constant support, and we're excited for this World Series.
Yeah, the numbers dictate you guys are enjoying the coverage of the postseason as much as we're enjoying covering it for you, and we're going to continue to do that and then cover baseball on into the offseason and awards that will be given out shortly after the World Series concludes.
Yeah, rest up the next 2 days because the Wild Series is going to begin on Friday.
Yeah, we will give our predictions and our, honestly, end of the full season recaps on Friday's episode. Should be a fun one.